Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And boy, have we got a story here. You'll want to hit that like button right now. You will. You're going to love this one. You'll also want to hit the subscribe button if you haven't. We're so close to 12,000, I can taste it. Literally, I think we're about 30 away. So if you're yet to subscribe, hit the button. Let's get to the 12,000 by close of business today. Now, the police have been told that this new hate act is coming in on the 1st of April and that they have to be ultra aware of what hate is. And for this to happen, there is a new thing. This is genuinely true, and I can't believe this is true, and you won't believe that it is true, but this is true. They have the Patrick Harvie test for hate. Only it's not what you think. It isn't how many people can possibly hate Patrick Harvie, or why does Patrick Harvie engender so much hate in people, or anything like that. No, it's one of the questions they ask the police is, if you see Patrick Harvie in the street and somebody shouts out deviant, is it a hate crime? And if so, under what section of hate crime is it breaching? It's almost worth it, isn't it? I'm going to do it. I'm going to go to Scotland, I'm going to see Harvie, and I'm going to shout out deviant and see how far it gets me. I'm pretty sure I could get away with this. Let's take a look to see if you can get away with it too. Here goes. So, all Police Scotland officers must pass the Patrick Harvie test as part of hate crime training. This is stunning, isn't it? This is why this law is an absolute joke, and it will fail in the courts. A police whistleblower says, "I've been a cop in Glasgow for years and have never seen the likes of this." As the Scots Tories say, it is astonishing that one of Humza Yousaf's ministers would feature. The mandatory training course for Scottish police officers who will be enforcing the SNP's hate crime law includes a clear reference to the Scottish Greens co-leader Patrick Harvie. Now, I'm presuming they're using him because he's so obviously easy to hate for so many different reasons. You can work out whatever reasons you like. Personally, I hate anyone that's a bit deviant, but that's a different thing. The controversial legislation will be enforced from April the 1st, some 3 years after it was passed by Holyrood. Critics say it will have a chilling effect on freedom of speech and create a huge workload for Police Scotland, with bosses insisting that every report must be investigated. Now, it's not bosses saying that. The actual law itself, the way it was drafted, insists that every case is investigated. And boy, I cannot wait for day one. It's launch day. We're on a countdown now. And I'm like, less than 2 weeks to go. 2 weeks today, isn't it? 2 weeks today. And boy, are we going to be keeping the police busy. And it's going to be so bad that the police will be begging for this law to be repealed almost immediately. And it'll be another embarrassing humiliation for the idiot-in-chief that is Humza Yousaf. A police whistleblower contacted the Scottish Express to highlight the concerns shared by many on the front line. They claimed every officer from the rank of constable to inspector has to provide the correct answer to the Patrick Harvie question or be flagged to senior bosses as non-compliant in new legislation. So if you get the answer wrong, you get a little black mark against your name. That's hateful. The training we've had is an online PowerPoint style presentation with questions at the end of that which must all be answered. It's all come out of nowhere. Cops are having to do this training in between calls. He said, "I've been a cop for years and I've never seen the likes of this. As of April the 1st, 2024, Police Scotland will be a private militia for Green SNP politicians." I thought it already was. But this is thought policing. This is Orwellian. You will be reported to the Ministry of Truth, the Ministry of Thought. Room 101 is definitely coming to every police station in the country. The question is, a high-profile male politician who is a strong supporter of the LGBT community is abused in the street during campaigning and called a deviant. What aggravators would be recorded for this crime? What crime? There's no crime here. Do they even understand what the word deviant means? The multiple choice answers are disability, physical impairment, racial, white Scottish, transgender identity, female to male, or sexual orientation, gay man. This appears to be a reference to an incident in August 23 when Harvie was allegedly abused during a live BBC TV interview while campaigning ahead of the Rutherglen and Hamilton by-election. Police later said a 59-year-old man had been charged over alleged homophobic comments. Well, I didn't hear a homophobic comment. I heard a man in the street shout the word deviant. There was no indication that it was, "Oi, Patrick, you're a deviant." There was no indication it was towards him, number one. Secondly, you can call him a deviant, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're talking about his sexuality. The man has some very strange views on, say, energy provision. And it is not the standard view. Therefore, he is at deviance from the standard view. Therefore, he is a deviant. This is how the word works. It means not adhering to the standard or perceived norm. Most people want, say, nuclear energy. He doesn't. He's at deviance with the vast proportion of people. This is how this thing works. These people are looking for offence at everything, and every innocent saying or every innocent word is being perceived as a hate crime. Well, boy, we can play this game, only we're better because we have got the thing they haven't got. We've got a brain. We have got the ability to see these things, to see the irony in these things, and to turn it around. We're intelligent. And boy, are we going to use that. These people are thick. And first of all, you'd have to prove it was him that shouted it, that it was Patrick Harvie who it was aimed at, that you have to refer that it was definitely towards his sexuality and not his energy policy. Thirdly, that it was done with intent to harm and not as an amusement. There's also the defence in law, of course, that you have the right to philosophical belief and religion. And if you are very strongly religious or you have a very strong philosophical belief, are you going to say that the Bible now becomes a hate book because it talks about homosexuality being a sin? Let's get the Quran banned. Have you seen the things in the Quran? Wow, hate crime, racism, all sorts of things. Let's ban the Quran. Let's go for it. Let's get Hamza to back that. Let's say, look, we cannot have this kind of thing in published form. Is that a hate crime? Ask him. If I published a book and in which that book I said that gay people were wrong, would he want the book banned? These people are stupid. I cannot get over how dim they are. Stop voting for fucking morons. Literally. Anyway, the training course is mandatory for all officers up to and including the rank of Chief Inspector. Another question that has caused consternation among officers relates to proselytising, which is defined by Police Scotland as trying to persuade someone to change their religious or political beliefs or way of life to your own. Now, here's the thing. If proselytising means changing your political beliefs, then nobody should be able to go up and knock on the door and try and persuade you to vote SNP. That would be in breach. That is a hate crime. So next time anyone from the SNP knocks on your door, chapping on the door, report them for a hate crime. They're proselytising. It's a crime. Good job. Proselytising is covered by one of the protections of freedom of expression safeguards written into the Act, along with discussion or criticism of age, disability, sexual orientation or gender identity. Expressions of antipathy, dislike, ridicule or insult are also permitted as long as they relate to religion or religious beliefs. But not politics. It's covered. They come chapping at the door. It's a hate crime. They're proselytising. It's illegal. Hate crime. Report them. Report anyone from the SNP who knocks on your door. The police have got to respond. They've got to investigate. And according to this law, it's a crime. Good job. Anyway, any comments outside of these boundaries risk falling under the review of new offences of stirring up hatred. That means now that any politician can stand in Holyrood and say something about an opposition party. It's a hate crime. It's getting better. I told you this. This is what I said. I've been saying it for a while now. This law's a joke. Don't worry about it, because it is going to come back and bite everyone who brought it in on the arse. The SNP are finished with this. Anytime the SNP stand up and say anything about the Tories, Tory goes, right, I'm reporting that to the police. It's a hate crime. Stirring up hatred. Hamza Yousaf's speech about wiping out the Tories from Scotland. It's a hate crime. The man is a moron. And it's just getting better and better. Folks, we're 2 weeks away. 2 weeks. And then we're really going to have fun. Day one, join me. All of you, join me, please. Every time a politician, especially the SNP, every time any of them speak, that's a hate crime. Report it. Have the police investigate. They have to investigate. And let's have them banging on the doors of the SNP 200 times a day. It's going to be brilliant. Coming up. Now, I will say on the first few days of this law, you've got to be really careful yourselves. Don't open yourself up to be abused, but keep your ears open and listen and report everything. And report and report and report. The police have got to respond. They have 72 hours. They've got to respond to you within 72 hours. Police are going to be so overwhelmed. It's going to fail. But only do it for politicians. Don't do it for people in the street. I mean, unless they're being particularly an arsehole, generally don't do it. Just the politicians. They are the target. We break them. We break Humza Yousaf. We break the SNP. And we make sure that they know it. And the Greens, Ross Kemp, Harvie, especially Harvie. Please, Harvie. If we've got a Patrick Harvie test. So let's test Patrick Harvie. Thank you very much for listening. Do please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. And let's wait. We're on the countdown, guys. Bye.